समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम् सच्चिदानन्दरूपाय विश्वोत्पत्त्यादिहेतवे तापत्रयविनाशाय श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नमः। जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरत चार्थेष्वभिज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदाय आदिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः तेजो वारिमृदां यदा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहं सत्यं परं धीमहि। So welcome to the last day of our yajna. So we all had been going through Uddhava Gita, and yesterday in last class we went through the last portion of Bhagavan Krishna's instructions to Uddhavaji, where he talked about how to be gunatita. And he said, you gunas belong to the body, mind and intellect and not to Atma. And the first stage to become gunatita is to become sattvic, and then using the sattvic quality within us go beyond all the gunas. And we also saw that part of self-purification, and that also actually that is really work towards getting the sadhana chatushtaya. And that is comprised in the first half, the first portion of Vedas called Karma Kanda. And yesterday we saw how to get rid or how to make sattvic gunas predominant in us by practicing certain disciplines in our life. We saw 10 factors which would affect the qualities of our mind. And then we saw about how Sattva-guna in the light, in the fire of knowledge, can burn both Rajoguna and Tamoguna and burn itself also, leaving no gunas as remnant. And then Bhagavan said, having understood that, with the right knowledge, you should go to a guru, get knowledge, and sitting in a place by yourself, focus on yourself and meditate on me. With, practice breathing, sit comfortably, all those instructions that Bhagavan has given in 6th chapter, which I did not go through in detail. Then, that time, Bhagavan Krishna told Uddhava, actually I had been telling all these things to Sanagadi Rishis. Uddhava looked at him and said, Sanagadi Rishis? They were in some other yuga itself. Now you are here. How did you get in touch with Sanagadi Rishis? Then he told the story of how Sanagadi Rishis As they were meditating, they had a question. They went to Brahmaji to ask him to clarify that question. And Brahmaji thought about it for a moment and he couldn't get immediately the answer. So he meditated on Mahavishnu, his own father. He was the mind-born son of Vishnuji, Vishnu Bhagavan. He meditated on him, not mind-born. He was born of Vishnu Bhagavan and he meditated on his own father. He came to answer him and he actually came in the form of a Hamsa. Hamsa is actually a mythological bird, it said. That bird, Hamsa, can separate out milk and water in a water-milk mixture. So that is to say, Hamsa bird represents highest level of purity and discrimination. Capacity to discriminate between the Atma and Anatma. Okay. So, Mahavishnu came in the form of Hamsa and taught Sanagadi brothers. And of course, Mahavishnu is none other, Krishna is none other than Mahavishnu himself. And so, Bhagavan continued telling Uddhavaji, right now he is going to narrate whatever Vishnu Bhagavan told Sanagadi Rishis as answer to their question. And now what happened? When Vishnu Bhagavan came in the form of Hamsa, and of course Sanagadi Rishis, they knew he was somebody very, very great. So it seems he asked Brahmaji to be in the front and with very humble, with humble gestures, that is behind Brahmaji. In our Vedas they say, like in Taittiriya Upanishad, it says, when elders are there, don't go in front. That is show of respect. And so it seems they asked Brahmaji to go in front. Sanagadi, the rishis, went behind and sat next to this Hamsa bird. And the question that Sanagadi rishis had is what is given here. Sanakadaya ujuhu guneshvavishate chetaha gunaschetasi cha prabho kathamanyonya santyagam mumukshoho ati titishoho. The meaning of that sloka is, O Lord, the mind enters the objects and objects enter the mind. How can seekers of liberation who want to go beyond objects separate them from each other? This is an extremely deep question which arises in a seeker in his very high, subtle state of mind in his meditation. As they were meditating, they found that they were not completely able to, in other words, they were constantly being disturbed by Vishayas of the world. When we say Vishayas of the world, objects of the world, as well as experiences that one had before meditation, that day or the day before, or the past experiences. That's what is meant by Vishayas. From hereafter we'll be using that word often. So Vishayas enter the mind. And the mind also is going to, we keep on remembering the objects of the world, and objects of the world keep coming and disturbing us. How can we separate this? This was the question. So now, Vishnu Bhagavan has come in the form of a Hamsa, and Sanakadi rishis are sitting there, and Brahmaji also is sitting there. When they saw Hamsa, so, this form of Hamsa, they asked that holy Rupa. They did not know who it was. Who this? They just knew here was an exalted being. Asked him, who are you? They asked him, who are you? Because they asked the question to Brahmaji, and he just came. Then Sri Bhagavan Uvacha, here it means, who said, we are listening to Bhagavan Krishna, who is narrating what? Vishnu Bhagavan, who is none other than Bhagavan Krishna, had that time told to Sanakadi Rishis. Okay? Evam pushto mahadevah swayambhurbuddha bhavanaha dhyayamana prasna bijam napyapadyada karmadhihi samamachindayadeva prasna parati tirshaya tasyaham hamsarupena sakasamagamam tada. Okay, so Bhagavan Vishnu in the form of Hamsa came, and Sanagadi Rishis asked the Hamsa, who are you? So when that question was asked, Bhagavan did not give the answer directly. He did not say who he was. He said, the answer to your question I can give you in two ways. You are asking me who I am. I can give you I cannot, both the questions are, to me the question is invalid. It is invalid because in which standpoint, in whichever standpoint I try to answer to you, the question looks invalid. What was standpoint? Now, from the standpoint of Atma, let us say, if I have to answer to you, you know, Atma has no properties associated with it. If we have to describe any object or any person, we describe the person with respect to or telling about the qualities or the properties of the person or an object. Okay? The person is tall or fat or from Sri Lanka or is an African American, whatever, has to have some properties. Now, from standpoint of Atma, because there are no properties, I cannot say who I am. I cannot, even that question itself is invalid, because Atma is all pervading. Atma has no jati, no kulam, no gotram. From Viveka Chudamani we studied all that. Does not have. So your question is invalid. Okay. Let us say I try to answer from the standpoint of anatma. What is anatma? Anatma is made out of Mahapanchabhutas. Isn't it? Anything which is not Atma is Anatma. And Anatma is nothing other than permutation and combination of the Panchabhutas in various combinations. All things which is not Atma is made out of these 5 elements: earth, water, fire, space and air. So, on that standpoint also, your question is invalid because being made out of the same thing, no differentiation from each other. All the differentiations or differences are very superficial. So your question is invalid. Probably that time, Sanakada Rishi should have thought, why at all we asked this question? He said, so your question is invalid. Now, then Bhagavan continued to say, children, understand that whatever, again let me remind you, I am not going through all slokas, sloka by sloka, because due to short of time, I am just telling the brief essence of the slokas in between. So Bhagavan told the Sanagata Rishis, children, understand that all the experiences in the world, which is by mind or intellect, be it by senses or by speech, all Panchendriyas, all the experiences, all that we perceive is all nothing other than me. Me means the Lord, the Self. Understand that. Secondly, also, whatever you grasp emotionally or intellectually or through senses is also me. Then, what is left? Whatever you perceive and experience in the world is the world. Isn't it? Whatever you sense and experience is the world. So all that is me. That means there is nothing apart from me. In other words, everything is God. And there is only God, nothing apart from God. Okay. Said that and told them, understand this clearly, as though I am telling you all these things. From hereafter don't ask me such silly questions. So for us it is the most subtle question what Sanakadi Rishis asked. So what Bhagavan Krishna is doing, he is telling all these things to Uddhava for the sake of people like us, so that, see, step by step, if we can, we'll quickly go through what we did from beginning of Uddhava Gita. That step by step Bhagavan is really taking us to the point where if we practice, that gives us the mukti. That's why it is called Mukti Skandha. So continuing, we'll go back and see what was the original question? What was the original question? Oh Lord, the mind enters the objects and objects enter the mind. How can seekers of liberation who want to go beyond objects separate them from each other? And a little bit of introduction towards that Bhagavan gave to the Sanakati brothers and told, as what I just now told, is whatever is experienced in the world in the form of emotions, words by speech, sense organs, what you grasp emotionally, verbally or sensually, all that is myself only. So there is nothing other than me. Just like there is no wave apart from water, isn't it? Lot of waves. Any moment of time, each wave is different from the other. But basically, each wave is nothing other than water. Just like that, there is nothing apart from me. First of all, you understand that. So now, this was the original question. We went through it. Then, the question is, how can the objects be separated from mind? In other words, how can the world be separated from mind? Bhagavan, to start with, he admits that yes, mind cannot be separated from the world of objects. Sanagata rishis would have had a sigh there because they had been struggling, meditating for a long time it seems. So they heard, oh, they cannot be separated. Now then, but we are supposed to go, we are supposed to renounce the world of objects. That's what Bhagavan Krishna had told Uddhava, remember? Renounce this world of objects. Renounce from this world of sensuous enjoyments. Then Bhagavan continues. Once a person is born in the world, we have to question, first of all, why are we born? What is the goal of our life? Where we came from, isn't it? All those. Now, knowing that we are born here with not as a random occurrence, but as a product or a result of our past karmas. All of us know that. And now, we have taken this body, which has, of course, along with it, the mind and the intellect, all that. This body assembly in this world, for this particular parents, for the particular location, in such a way that the surroundings are conducive for exhaustion of our vasanas. And therefore, vasana exhaustion can be done only by experiencing the world around us. And how do you experience the world? You experience the world through your BMI, body, mind and intellect. Therefore, yes, you have to experience the world. You have to interact with the world. If you don't interact the world, in fact, that will be most detrimental to your spiritual growth. The more you interact with the world, the more your Hridaya Granthis, means the knots of your heart, gets loosened, as though the more you interact with the world, the more experiences you have, and those experiences are supposed to be faced by you. That is your prarabdha. You got to exhaust that, by which you develop vairagya. That is the idea. You have to develop vairagya by that. Develop vairagya by which you understand or you get totally satisfied by this world or understand the actual value of whatever is there for your own internal self as more and more you go inward. And therefore, given the mind has to interact with the world. When mind interacts with the world, yes, mind will go into the objects. The objects will enter mind. Okay? And understand that, when Krishna said, understand that your mind is only a temporary media of experience. It is just a media of experience that you are blessed with, so that you can exhaust your vasanas. And be careful in two things. One, don't be too much carried away by very pleasant situations. When somebody comes and tells, oh, you did a very great job, or you look beautiful today, whatever. Whenever you get such pleasant experiences in the world, don't be too much carried away. At the same time, don't feel too depressed or too much let down when somebody calls you a donkey. Knowing this, being aware of all this knowledge, if you are aware of this knowledge, you will not get carried away nor put down by the surroundings. In order to get that equanimity of mind, you have to experience in this world. And then Bhagavan said, whatever I said so far through this verse, and the essence of that I have written down there. Guneshva vishate chetaha gunaschetasi cha prajaha jivasya deha ubhayam gunascheto madatmanaha. The essence is, since the mind and world cannot be separated, there is one more reason why mind and world cannot be separated. Is, apart from whatever I said, world is made out of the Panchbhutas, isn't it? What we had discussed before. Mind is also in subtle form Panchbhutas only. We have seen that. From Panchbhutas only, mind also is made. And therefore, mind and world naturally will go together. They will form a team. You don't have to get interface or interluded with that, because you are not that. You are consciousness. Whatever happens to you, whatever experiences you have, you get, whatever your mind is experiencing, just be a witness to that. Just watch. Since the mind and world cannot be separated, the renunciation of one has to be followed by renunciation of the other also. So living in this world, can I walk around in the world mindless of my mind or mindless of others' mind? That is not possible. I have to interact with the world. Interaction requires my mind. And therefore, renunciation, if you renounce the mind, you have to renounce the world also. So I cannot say, I don't want all these things and go sit in a guha. It does not happen. Because mind is designed, your mind is designed in such a way it has to interact with the world, exhaust its vasanas. And then we cannot keep the mind and renounce the world. So two things, we cannot renounce the world and keep the mind, nor renounce the mind and keep the world, because both are connected and both are made out of the same material and both are inert. Something else is giving sentience to this, and you are that something, which is allowing the mind and the world to interact. Continuing. Now what to do? Bhagavan says, come to Atman. You cannot do anything with your mind. You cannot renounce your mind, not do anything. You cannot renounce your mind, you cannot renounce the world. Then what to do? You come to Atman. Both the mind and world, as already told, is only a temporary media for experience. And understand, when Bhagavan Krishna says, I am neither mind nor world, what is that we have to understand? I am neither mind nor world. Please remember that. When Bhagavan says, I am neither mind nor the world, he is saying, for us, for each one of us, we have to understand, I am neither my mind nor the world. In my presence, the mind and the world, they interact. Okay? And now, Bhagavan wants to clarify it a little more by saying, every day from morning, yes, till we go to bed, we are interacting with the world. Continuously, we are interacting with the world of objects in some form or other, in some way or other, constantly, isn't it? And naturally, Vishayas will enter our mind, and without our knowledge, we constantly entertain the thoughts of the Vishayas. Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsaha. When we do meditation or when we keep thinking about anything, what happens? We get identified with that. We get attached to that. So any thought or objects, as we keep thinking about it, as we entertain the thought in us, what happens? It leaves an impression in us. It cannot be helped. At times, it does change itself into a strong vasana in you. And it sometimes just comes and goes. The moment you entertain a thought, it solidifies in you. It creates an impression, either lightly or strongly. It is very natural. And then he says, because it enters the mind. And when you interact with the world, what happens? Our mind is reflected onto the objects of the world, and that again gets reflected back, it can keep on going. Then what do? Bhagavan says this. Guneshu cha visacchittam abhikshnam gunaseveya gunascha chitta prabhava madruva ubhayam tyajet. Ubhayam tyajet. Anything? Were you trying to say something? Ubhayam tyajet. Ubhayam means renounce both. Both here means both mind and the world. Okay? Both mind and world you live. Remember that story of that bird with a piece of meat was flying, and some other bird, osprey, was flying with food in its beak, and a flock of birds were chasing. And what did the bird do? Let go of it, isn't it? And the birds did not. The birds went after that object and did not chase the osprey bird. Remember that. As you hold on to the world of objects, the world will chase you. But if you don't hold on to the world of objects, it will not trouble you. That statement has not just the vachartha, just the word meaning alone. It is very, very deep. It's very, very deep. As long as you hold on to any thought, it will bother you, right? As long as you are very, very sensitive about one particular person, your life will get affected. As long as you are attached to any particular person, you are bonded. You are bonded. There is a strong bondage developed. As long as you keep entertaining thoughts of an object, that object, until you get it and start enjoying, it will bother you. And once you enjoy something, the next time you get the same object, it is not fun. You want to have a better or a higher or a bigger, whatever it is. So it is an extremely loaded idea that as long as you hold on to the world of objects, when we say world of object, it means everything. Whatever you perceive, whatever you possess, whatever you position you are, whatever you thinking, the world of objects will chase you. It will bother you. So at the seat of meditation, of course it will bother you. So this speaker, here in the commentary, he says, it is like your dupatta. You get out of the car. As you slowly move away from the car, you find dupatta is caught in the door of the car, and the car has slightly started moving. What do? You will let go of the dupatta, isn't it? You will not hold on. If you hold on to it, that's all. You also will be dragged. The world is like that. If we let the world to drag us, it will drag us. We have to stand apart and look at the mind and the world as objectively as possible initially, and then start like how jnanis do. Look at the world, your experiences, everything objectively as a subject, as we would watch a drama in a theatre. Knowing that your mind and the world is interacting. You have to go through it because it is your prarabdha. And the smartness lies in trying to and learning as much as possible from your prarabdhic experiences. convert your prarabdha, make every opportunity to make it your purusha. Nice, isn't it? That's what we should be doing. That's what Bhagavan Krishna told Sanakadi Rishis. Because of repeated interaction with sense objects, two things happen. Mind enters into sense objects, means Vishayas. Bhagavan constantly uses Vishaya, that's why I use Vishaya. Objects and Vishayas enter mind in the form of impressions or samskaras. The only way out, Ubhayam Tyajet, disassociate from both the Vishayas as well as mind. That means, do not get carried away by what happens outside world. Live, interact happily, like what Avadhuta said, be a blessing to the world and let the world not be a curse to you. So, having said that, we'll continue. He was talking about renouncing the world as well as the mind, which means keep the world of objects at a distance, as though all the experiences you watch and experience it as a witness. Do not get bound. So we are talking about mind and world of objects. Mind has to interact with the world. How do we do that? With our wisdom, whatever Bhagavan taught us, that we are not mind, we are not the world, stand apart and act in this world, live in this world. Now, having said that, Bhagavan is going to the other side of human experience. We experience this world in 3 states of awareness, which we have very often heard. The 3 states are as a waker we experience the world, as a dreamer we experience the world, and as a sleeper we experience the world. Now, here Bhagavan attributes each experience to our familiar, favorite attribute of the mind, which is the gunas. So a waker experiences the waking world when his mind is predominantly sattvic. Why? Only that is when you get new information, new knowledge. So information gathering, like a VCR, the recording in our mind and intellect is done in the waking state. When we are sattva, we are predominantly sattvic. And in the dream, what happens? And when in waking state, our mind is also totally involved. Mind is fully active. Right? Now let us go to the dream state. In dream state, what happens? Mind is not that active. But whatever we experienced in the waking state gets projected. Isn't it? Nothing new comes. We don't learn anything. Whatever is there as memory or as impressions right? Gets projected in dream. And we say the rajasic nature of the mind is predominantly acting during dream sleep. And in deep sleep state, mind is totally not there. So, no sattva is there, no rajas is there, only tamas. But tamas also is not really experienced. Nothing is experienced. There is no thought at all in mind. There is no mind. Mind is in dormant state. But I am aware that I had a deep sleep yesterday night. I am aware that in the morning I had a dream. I am aware that I am here sitting and talking about Hamsa Gita. Who is aware? That person common across these three states is my self, capital self. That is I. And therefore, these three gunas, sattva, rajas and tamas, they do not belong to me. They belong to the mind. Correct? All these belong only to the mind. Okay? So, hope I have covered the points. So we will go to this idea is presented in the next sloka. Jagrat swapnak sushuptam cha gunato buddhi vrittayah tasam vilakshano jivaha sakshittvena vinischitaha. Children, be well assured. Make it very clear in you. Be nischaya. Understand it clearly in your mind. What? Having understood that Jagrat state is Sattva Pradhana, where new knowledge comes, mind is active. And Swapna state is Raja Pradhana, based on memory and only partially mind is active. And in Sushupti, it is Tama Pradhana. It is actually passive, not that Tamas even acts. You are totally taking rest at that time. Mind is dormant. In essence, all three avasthas, these three states, who sleeps? I, not I. The mind slept. Isn't it? Not me. So all these three avasthas belong to mind. When we say mind, it means ahankara also. They are talked about, they are interchanged. When we say ahankara, it is mind, when mind, ahankara, chitta, intellect, all are involved. Included, not involved, included. Okay? So far clear? I'll go ahead. Now, we said the three states, the three gunas, they don't belong to me. The mind, it doesn't belong to me. Of course, the world is only my mind's projection. And then, who am I? Who am I? Bhagavan would have read that question in Sanakada Rishis. Bhagavan says, you are different from all these three. You are the Sakshi of all these three. Do not get confused between these. What happens is, the ahankara or the mind, we get so much entangled in the world and we start feeling comforted in that. We get so much used to, so much that even though we understand all these things, I mean, now we are talking about slightly advanced seekers, even though we understand, I am not the mind, I am not the intellect, these three states don't belong to me, these gunas don't belong to me, I am different, I am Sakshi. Even then, what happens is, the ahankara does not want to live, or I don't want to leave my ahankara. Remember the story of Indra, who came to earth for some particular short project. He pig, then he had a wife, he had lots of piglets, and then when somebody came and reminded him also, hey Indra, you are supposed to come there. He said, no, look at my cute wife and children, I cannot leave them, I am enjoying this life. Look at the nice puddle I am in. No, remember that. Each of us are like that. Anybody with all the whatever complaints we have, if now Bhagavan comes and says, come, I'll take you. We will ask for one more day. Oh, just wait for, I have just a little more Bhagavan to do. I'm ready to come, I'll come. We are never ready to say, okay, I'll come immediately. Isn't it? We don't want to leave. We are truly speaking, we are getting very used to the pains like what is that animal in deserts?
Camel.
Like camels. It seems they bite into thorny plants and blood oozes out of their mouth. It hurts them, but still they will keep on eating. Just like some of us, they love chili. Gurudev would cite this example. Eat very hot food and you suffer. Again you go for hot pickle. Something like that. We know the doshas of our enjoyments. We still go after that. We don't want to get rid of our ahankara. We know the problems associated with getting angry. Still we get angry. Isn't it? So, understand that. Bhagavan is telling to Sanakada Rishis, understand that you are not that. Keep apart from the world of objects and live in this world like how Krishna told Uddhava. He says, own up this Sakshi Swarupam. Own up Sakshi Swarupam. Disidentify with your ahankara. Understand whatever is I and idam. Aham and idam. Aham idam. That is actually the world. My world is aham and idam. Very often in Vedantic texts, that is how it is expressed. Aham and idam. I and the world is how we act. Get rid of that bheda buddhi. Remember, we have learned that bheda buddhi in the previous verses. Get rid of the bheda buddhi by disassociating yourself from the world and the mind, understanding that the gunas are not yours, and also the experiences are of the mind and the world. They are all the result of interaction of the mind and the world. I am here only as a tenant to this body and mind, on a temporary project. I have come here to exhaust the vasanas, and very soon my goal should be to get out with a clean slate and do not come back. That should be our goal. And so he says, who is Jiva? It is I who is aware of the active waking state, I who is aware of semi-active, the dream state, aware of deep sleep also. Therefore, I am neither waker nor dreamer nor the sleeper. We saw that. Then, what am I? I am the Sakshi of the three states. So, own up the Sakshi Swarupa. Disidentify the mind, disidentify from the mind and the world. Okay? I'm seeing very, very serious faces. Okay. I'll leave a lot of time for questions. Okay? So, Bhagavan says, as long as you connect with Ahankara, it will give you three states. The waker, you will be lashed. The dreamer, you will be whipped. A sleeper, you take rest. Again wake up, repeat. This is the autobiography of all of us. Huh? We don't want to do that. What should you do? Take shelter in Sakshi state and watch everything objectively. As long as we see the things, what is happening with an objective mind, we will not be agitated. Like when we watch India versus Pakistan cricket, what was the agitation in our heart? Because of our extreme identification and non-identification put together. Don't do that. Be objective, watch and experience the world. Going ahead. He continues. This also we have gone through. This Avastatrayam is illumined. All the three states of experiences. They were all, I was aware. How was I aware? Something illumined it, I know. That what illumined is the Sakshi, and that is I am. That is what I am. This Avastatrayam is illumined by Sakshi. In presence of Sakshi, the world is illumined. Being Lord of all organs, Atma alone, that Sakshi alone has given sentience to the organs. Understand that all three states belong to mind alone, otherwise called Ahankara. It belongs to Ahankara alone. The more we tell, repeat again and again and again to ourselves. Slowly, slowly, when that I and Idam comes, that should switch on a light in us. And we have to interact accordingly. Mind has experiences due to predominance of the gunas only. That we have seen. So what do? So watch the interaction of Ahankara mind with the world and Vishyas objectively, knowing we have rented this body to exhaust our vasanas and prarabdha. You have just rented it. The moment time comes, the owner will take it away. Right? And it will be recycled. And then, to conclude, we saw gunas belong to body, mind and intellect. The three states of waking, dreaming and sleeping are experiences of the mind and Ahankara only. The self is beyond gunas and is witness of all interactions of mind and objects of the world. What do? Let us absorb our mind into the Lord. Having said this, we have to go back to what Bhagavan Krishna had told Uddhava. Remember? Renounce the world, absorb your mind into me. Meditate, realize, and roam around happily like a child. So he says, understand this. You are the witness of whatever is happening around you. Let us, so in conclusion, let us absorb our minds into the Lord, develop Vairagyam by sincere devotion, regular studies and reflection, and do our duties as service to Lord. All this we have seen. This was the advice of Krishna, isn't it? There's no new words here. May the grace of God and blessings of our Guru Parampara save us from samsara. Okay. With this, I am concluding Uddhava Gita. Thank you very, very, very much for patiently listening, and it had been a great blessing for me to be able to prepare and present it before you, share it with you. And I apologize for all the mistakes I might have made. I know a lot of spelling mistakes, etc. I apologize for that. Otherwise, thank you very much. Okay. Hari Om, thank you.
Questions?
Any questions? Yes. Yeah.
So yesterday, you talked about...
Yesterday was past, today is present. I live in the present.
about creation of our body. And in that, you had from Samashti Sattva Guna, mind is born, from Samashti Rajoguna, fire. What is Samashti Sattva Guna? What is Samashti Rajoguna?
That is all gunas put together. In fact, the total mind is God. Brahman, with power of Maya, is God. So the total mind is Samashti mind. That is why great Mahatmas, it seems, they can communicate with each other. You know? I mean, these are all only words for people like us, but they do. So, they are Sarvajna. They know everything. Because they can, I don't know, transport themselves as though in the subtle world.
I think he's saying Samashti Sattva Guna. It is not Samashti mind.
All three. Samashti Sattva Guna.
From Samashti Sattva Guna, mind has come. So why do you say Samashti, he is saying?
Yeah, before the grossification, I guess.
Yeah, before grossification. Yesterday we had gone through that. And the grossified Tanmatras are the gross body.
So my question is about the vacant sleeper and dream state. I think this discussion we've had in our study group too, I find it a very difficult concept to understand.
I can prove it to you right now. Okay.
But so I understand this vacant dreamer and sleep and deep sleep are not a part of the jiva. They're a part of the mind. Jiva is separate. Where does vasanas come in? You had a statement said that the jiva is only renting the body. BMI, which is part of the waking, dream and deep sleep state, to exhaust vasanas. So is vasanas part of the jiva, or is and the gunas are based on the vasanas, aren't they? Like your gunas that you have are based on your vasanas. So where does the vasanas fit in?
Who is bound by the vasanas? I'm trying to answer to you by questioning these questions, okay? Who is bound by the vasanas?
The BMI.
The jiva
The jiva.
is bound. Unfortunately, our true nature, okay, in other words, whatever we are experiencing is through the identification with this manifestation in this BMI.
And the jiva is the
So that which is identified with this BMI is jiva. It's one way of telling. But what Vedanta is teaching us is, it is a kind of your own absent-mindedness. You are, in fact, your true nature is Paramatman himself. By some forgetfulness, you have identified yourself with your BMI or your vasana. Because of your vasanas, you have identified yourself with the BMI.
But the jiva is not Paramatma, right?
Jiva is,
Paramatma plus vasanas.
that question should it be answered on the standpoint of Paramatma or Anatma? So, if it is from standpoint of Paramatma or Atma, there is no Jiva. But if I identify myself with Jiva, yes, I have vasana. Vasanas belong to me. And I got this body is mine. And vasanas, my body is product of my vasanas. But what happens when I become gunatita? My ego is not there, ahankar is not there, Sushma is not there, BMI is just another Panjabhutas. No. As long as I am identified with this jiva, as long as I am identified with my individuality, I have vasanas, I have this, I have prarabdha, all those things will be there. So this jiva undergoes all waking state, dream state, sleep state. But with the knowledge that actually I don't have to, all these things are not the true nature of me, that is not true me, the true me is apart from it. I am that Sakshi which is enabling this illusion of the world. It is enabling, no? That Sakshi is enabling this, that Maya power, the Maya power of Sakshi is enabling all these things. When I say Maya power of Sakshi, Maya of God I am saying, is enabling. Knowing that, keep disassociate yourself, disidentify yourself. And every time, in every transaction, disidentify and go inward and say, I am actually the Sakshi. And that is very, very, very kind of try way of understanding. But if we say that Sakshi is Paramatma, the Lord, and increase our devotion and love, slowly we will get identified with that divinity. And that divinity, in the support of that divinity, we will realize that we are not different from that whom we are worshipping. That ultimately the devotee and the devoted will become one. That means the devotee becomes the devoted.
I got a question.
Yeah.
It is said that you need to be a sakshi of those three states.
Witness, yeah.
What is there to witness when you're sleeping and nothing is happening?
No. It is already doing, we don't have to worry.
So it's basically the other two?
Yeah. Only in the other two, only in waking state we have control. We don't have any control in dream state. Dream is not in our control at all. It seems a jnani also dreams. It is not that a realized person, a great person, they don't dream and only we dream. They also dream. They also go through the same experiences. They also get hurt when they, get hit or whatever. They also feel hungry. They also feel thirsty. But their attitude is different. The way they perceive things is different.
I think he's asking what is being witnessed in Sushupti. The Sakshi is still there, but what is it witnessing is what he
Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
What is witnessing?
Yeah.
No.
What is being witnessed?
Really being there to witness when they step
Sushupti.
in
See, witnessing in deep sleep,
Yeah.
I am. That's all. When you say what is being witnessed, there is something. No, in deep sleep, it is I am only. In fact, even that is not defined. Because I am not there, there is no mind to operate, to say, to feel, to do anything. Mind is dormant.
That was my question. When everything is dormant, is there a sakshi opportunity to witness?
No, that in deep sleep there is nobody witness. We cannot feel it. It is something like saying, how would Brahman feel if I pinch him? Of course, it's a very, very ridiculous question. But what you are asking is not a ridiculous question. I don't know, I can't get an example all of a sudden. But in deep sleep, when mind is not there, how can we experience it? We only know we had a deep sleep. Because I know just before sleeping, I had set the alarm, I remember. Therefore I know. I slept.
Can I ask?
Yeah.
Sakshi
See, the
connects.
name Sakshi is given when there is something to witness, right? I am a teacher when there is a student, when I am teaching. Right? So the name is actually given when the associated thing is available. Now, in waking, I am aware. I am awake. In dreaming, I am dreaming. But in deep sleep, I am. So there is nothing else. I am. But that existence is there. That time it is not called really Sakshi, but I am.
I am.
So can we say that then all of us at least have 1/3 of that covered?
What is that?
No, at least 1/3 of our time we are with our with the true self.
Yeah, it is.
Right.
Deep sleep is.
We are designed that way to motivate and incent ourselves that look at 1/3 of your time, you are enjoying, you are in that blissful state. What will be if you all the time if you are in that blissful state? So it is
Ignorance is bliss, that is the statement.
Yeah. Since all living beings go through the same bliss of deep sleep. It's the same experience if you call so. Yeah. Yeah.
So we discussed the limitations of karma, right? I think
Limitations, yeah.
Day before
Yes,
yesterday or yesterday.
Yes.
How do we understand that in relation to the concept of karma yoga, which has been, we've been taught that karma yoga is one of the ways you
Yes.
can seek yourself or self-realize.
Yeah.
So that kind of, both those things seem contradictory. So
Yeah.
can you elaborate a little bit?
Correct. Yeah. See, Karma Yoga is for purification of mind. The more Karma Yoga you do, as one thing, your mind becomes more compassionate. Mind melts. Because Karma Yoga means what? Doing work selflessly as you surrender all the fruits of action to the Lord. Isn't it? You don't go and do something and then say, of course there are people like that, and say, I went and spent 5 hours there, they did not even give 1 cup of coffee. That is not Karma Yoga. No? So Karma Yoga is what you do selflessly without anything at all in return. So that is called the Karma Yoga, and that is for purification of mind. Why should you purify your mind? Pure mind is required to get Vairagya. How? When you say, what is pure mind? Mind which is devoid of impurities, that is, in people. What are the common impurities we have heard about? Kama, Krodha, Mada, Moha, Matsarya, all those things, right? Lobha, all that. In order that we slowly get freed of that, one of the disciplines that is advised is Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga as it is does not give you liberation. No. What gives you liberation? The knowledge of your true self, what you really are. And your capacity to abide by that gives you liberation. And how do you reach there? You have to have Vairagyam to the world of objects, that means detachment from the world of objects, and attachment to the Supreme. So you have to detach from here and attach there. For detaching, for that kind of understanding, to get that Vairagyam, all those disciplines of self-purification is required. That is where Karma Yoga comes.
Of the bird, one is devotion.
Knowledge.
Can you elaborate how that is?
Knowledge and devotion is the 2 wings of the bird and leads to liberation.
Oh, knowledge and devotion, you said? I heard association, so I was trying very hard to understand. Yeah, knowledge and devotion is like 2 wings of a bird. Why? See, intellectually we can understand, let us say Upanishad. Oh, my true nature is this. I am all pervading. I am untouchable. I am immutable. I am Buddha, Shuddha. All those. I am Sat. Sat everybody feels. I am Chit, I am conscious. I am Ananda. All that by definition you can understand. How? You can intellectually understand, but how do you reach there? For reaching there, our Hridaya Granthis have to be loosened up. Hridaya Granthis are small knots which manifest themselves as problems and agitations as we interact in the world. And it is extremely dangerous. Bhagavan Krishna himself says, without devotion, without the wetness of the mind as though, without the love and attachment to the Lord of creation, whoever has given this field of experience to exhaust our vasanas, to that Creator, without that gratitude and devotion, we cannot have that Atma Sakshatkara. We can intellectually understand, but in order to merge that devoted and devotee, you have to go inward develop that love, intense love to that Bhagavan, understanding that Bhagavan is nowhere or Bhagavan is everywhere, including myself. And it is that Bhagavan who is in me, out of his great compassion, out of his love, I am what I am. And only by his love and blessing, I can be liberated from here. That, we have to live it, we have to feel it. See, when Kuchela, Sudama, or Sudama, however you say, he was very, very poor. He was childhood friend of Bhagavan Krishna, okay? And his wife said, you go to your friend Kuchela, you just, ask him, even if he just gives something, it will be of such great help. He had some 28 children or something, and they were extremely poor, they had nothing. And Kuchala could not. He was so much devoted to the Lord, and he was not good in making some money and supporting the family also. So his wife said, why don't you just go and meet with your best friend, I'm sure he will help you. And then she made a little bit of poha, beaten rice, and because she knew through Kuchala that Kuchala loves beaten rice, and he gave it to him. So Kuchala takes that little bit of rice and goes and sees Bhagavan Krishna. That's all. He simply lost himself in him. He even forgot to give that little poha. And sometimes when he remembered, at the night itself when he was going to bed, he saw that. He remembered, but then he thought, how can he give this thing? He lives in such a big, leave that. But when he went and saw Bhagavan, he completely forgot. He did not even ask what he wanted. He did not want anything. His life was fulfilled. That should be our attitude, our bhakti devotion to the Lord, which will make us understand our true nature. And in fact, Bhagavan says bhakti alone is enough. I think it is in 10th chapter he says, Buddhi dadami. Tesha, you can't get it. Aham buddhi dadami, to such a bhakta who is unconditionally devoted to me, I will give him the buddhi. That means you will be, like Mirabai, you become one with the Lord. And only with that grace like that, we can realize. Worshipping him as the Lord in us and not anywhere outside. Anything else? Any other question? Or we are all set? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.